The 12.8 cm Pak 44L/55, Pak, GER, Panzerabwehrkanone, was a German heavy anti-tank gun used during World War II. It was designed as a result of experiences on the Eastern Front in 1943. The German army had encountered the Russian 122 mm guns and had issued a requirement for a similar weapon. Development initially concentrated on a field gun known as the Kanona K-44. However, once heavier Russian armor, such as the IS-2, started to appear, the design requirements were altered to include an anti-armor role. The Pak-44 had short to medium-range performance similar to the 8.8 cm Pak-43, but the 12.8 cm Pak-44 better maintained its anti-tank performance over long to extreme long ranges, 1800-2700 plus meters, while also doubling as an effective field gun when firing He. Design history. The choice for 128 mm caliber anti-tank gun was made because of the availability of tooling due to the use of this caliber for naval weapons. The design contracts were awarded to Rheinmetall Borsig and Krupp. The first prototype guns were delivered for testing in late 1943. Rheinmetall began development of a variant of the 128 mm flak gun, whilst Krupp opted to design a new weapon from the ground up. After initial tests, the Rheinmetall design was dropped and development continued with the Krupp design. However, the service tests showed that a towed anti-tank gun weighing nearly 11 tons was impractical, so the towed design was terminated. Approximately 50 barrels and breeches were used on existing carriages. The weapon that used the ex-French GPFT carriage was known as the K-81/1, while the K-81 halves used the ex-Russian carriage. Both of these designs were rushed, and were too heavy, making them cumbersome to deploy. In 1943, a design program using the Pak-44 as its starting point was started for a gun to mount on the Jahrguttiger, SD.KFZ 186, and the Maus Super Heavy tank. This weapon, of which approximately 100 were made, was known both as the Pak-44 and Pak-80/Panzerjägerkanone PJK-80. Performance was identical to the initial design. Performance. The gun was fed with two-piece ammunition, the projectile and cartridge making up separate pieces. Because of this, the gun could be fired using three different sized propellant charges, a light, medium and heavy charge. The light and medium charges were normally used when the gun was fulfilling the role of an artillery piece, where they would launch the 28 kg projectiles to a muzzle velocity of 845 m/s and 880 m/s respectively. Finally, the heavy charge was used when the gun was fulfilling its intended role as an anti-tank gun, where it fired a 28.3 kg APK projectile, PZGR.43, at a muzzle velocity of 950 m/s. With the heavy charge, and using the PZGR.43 projectile, the Pak-44 was capable of penetrating 212 mm, 8.3 in, of 30-degree sloped armor at 500 meters, 200 mm, 7.9 in, at 1000 meters, 1100 yd, and 178 mm, 7.0 in, at 2000 meters, 2200 yd, range. The 12.8 cm Pak-44 ended up becoming the standard main armament for the Jahrguttiger heavy tank destroyer, and a tank gun variant was the planned main armament for many future super heavy tank designs in development during the last months of World War II, including the fully turreted PZKPFW-8 Maus and E-100, as the 12.8 cm KWK-44L/55 main gun. Variants. 12.8 cm Kanona 44, Pak-44. 12.8 cm Kanona 81/1, K-44 mounted on the ex-French 155 mm GPFT carriage. Two-wheeled spit trail. 12.8 cm Kanona 81 halves, K-44 mounted on the ex-Russian 152 mm howitzer model 1937 carriage. Two-wheeled split trail. 12.8 cm Kanona 81 thirds, K-44 mounted on a Gerät 579 medium weapons carriage. Krupp version. Four-wheeled version where 2 wheels at one end and 2 at the other. Firing position allows 360 degrees traverse. 12.8 cm Pak 80, Pak 44 mounted on Jagudtajar, SD.KFZ 186, tank destroyers. Designations. As is common at this time, this weapon underwent several name changes. At various times it was known as K44, Pak 44, Kanona 81, Pak 80, and PJK 80. Equipment numbered in the 8X range were temporary items usually issued in small numbers and not regarded as standard issue service weapons. Hence Pak 80 and PJK 80 were temporary names, as were K81/X. Had this equipment been accepted into full service, it would have had a Pak 4X designation attached. The only difference between the Pak 44 and the K44 was the mode of operation. The weapon itself was identical.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.